Story 1.
My wedding was this past weekend, and it was absolutely everything I could have imagined it to be. My wife and we got married in 2021, but this was our reception. Absolutely had a blast at our reception. Except for my father. You see, the Coles notes of my life story are: my mom died when I was 14, my dad remarried 8 months later, and my life was never the same after that. I'm now 30 and have an okay relationship with him since everything happened. The theme of my struggles with my dad and stepmom have been about me not appreciating her enough. I've never done enough, been enough, or put enough effort into the relationship to satisfy my dad. And this has been going on ever since I was a kid. God forbid I never had time to process my mom's death, the fact my dad remarried so soon, or the fact that I had to be constantly put up against her perfect son. I was always the problem, and I was always made sure to be aware. I have 2 older sisters who moved out as kids, but in later years have also dealt with some of the same issues as me. Fast forward to last year, when my actual wedding day came about, I posted on Facebook a very brief paragraph eulogizing my mother as a cathartic way to acknowledge her during my ceremony. I hadn't planned on mentioning her to save my stepmom's feelings, and not have my dad jump down my throat. But he saw the Facebook post and he did not like it. I got a scathing message about how my stepmom wasn't trying to replace my mom, how I shouldn't post stuff like that, and how it was disrespectful to him. And I apologized. I apologized because it's always been easier to take the burden of the situation on rather than confront him. When I was in grade 5, my dad cried to me and said, "I'm so happy you're not like your sisters," which I will never forget. That's way too much to put on a child. But anyway, one last time jump to this weekend. My wife and I agreed on omitting the father-daughter dance because I didn't feel comfortable doing the mother-son dance with her. I feel awful asking my wife to have to omit this, and I'm working through the guilt. I mentioned my mother very briefly in the itinerary handouts, and that was it. But someone made a slideshow and it had pictures of my mom in it. No, I made it. I'm trying to censor that because I lied to him, but I made the slideshow. I used pictures from a Facebook album, and pictures my wife's mom gave me, but that's it. I didn't purposely omit anyone. I didn't pick and choose pictures. This was such a nothing that I can't believe I'm writing about it. And my dad, during the dinner, messaged me saying, "You better have pictures of your stepmom in there." During my wedding dinner, I lost it. I left the room, and I couldn't deal with it. It shook me. It's everything I hate about our relationship rolled into one. Later that night I got more "she's not replacing your mom" talk, and they left. A few days later I got a more aggressive "you disrespected me and your stepmom by not including her more in your wedding, and I'm at a total loss." I feel like I'm only starting to validate my feelings that my entire history has been backed by this theme of narcissism, but it still feels like my experiences don't feel severe enough to warrant it. I'm at a point where I want to go no contact, but I also feel crazy and that I am overreacting. I want to say thank you everyone for your incredibly kind words, advice, and suggestions. This is honestly some of the most validating feedback, and I'm slowly trying to work out how to move forward. I can't tell you all how much I appreciate the support, and will try to respond to as many of you as possible. I'm sorry to anyone who has had a similar experience. Know that I've read every comment and will continue to do so, even if I don't respond. I feel like I'm so anxious about the whole situation it'll be hard for me to even stand up for myself, or go no contact, but I'm going to try my damnedest to come up with a way to do just that.
My opinion. Sorry to hear that, but still, seems like the wedding itself was not ruined by your father. I mean, of course, you got those unpleasant comments about the presentation, etc., but he was polite enough not to start telling you that in front of everyone. He probably should not tell you that during the ceremony, but still. I feel like he's missing your mother as well, and by this fast new marriage he covers the hole left in his heart because of what's happened. This why he wants you to appreciate your stepmom so badly. But those are my thoughts. Anyway, don't take it that close. Everything will be alright. Story 2.
I want to cancel my wedding. Not the marriage, just the wedding. I'm so beyond upset that I just feel numb. I've posted about my issues with my mother before, but she has gone so far off the deep end that my future husband had to take my cell phone from me last night as I called her to cancel the entire event. From the day we got engaged, she has been a miserable and controlling asshole. I knew better than to accept her offer to pay, and yet, I took it. I should have known when we brought over champagne to celebrate our engagement, since we got engaged on a family vacation and she locked herself in her room instead of celebrating with us, that something was amiss. Part of the issue is that when my grandmother died, she left a considerable sum of money to my mom. Now, my father has always worked, and she was a stay-at-home mother, which is totally great. However, his money has always been their money, but when my mom got this inheritance, it was her money. This is relevant considering my father has been completely excluded from the wedding process. Every time he tries to interject an opinion, she responds with, "Well, you're not paying." She does the same thing to me, bridesmaids' dresses. I posted about this before. She wouldn't accept my choice of black as a color and fought about it for 2 months, including asking me to leave at Thanksgiving because I would not acquiesce. Our wedding coordinator, whom I adore. We paid $900 for a base package that includes day of coordination and some contract reviews and a site visit with some other things thrown in. My mom has taken that to mean that my coordinator sets up the day before the wedding, tears down everything after the wedding, and coordinates all vendors on top of that. Our coordinator also offered her a contact who does freelance flowers to help my mom with her ideas. My mother has since refused to hire her because she didn't respond to emails fast enough, which means that my mom sent her emails, and she didn't get back to her the same day because this girl works full-time at another job. My mother has been so nasty to the coordinator about this contact that our coordinator emailed me this morning and asked if I wanted the deposit we paid back because she feels so disrespected by the way my mother speaks to her. Flowers. I get no say. None. On top of that, my mom is so disorganized that she doesn't realize she can't do it all herself. Catering. We had met with the caterer months ago and chosen our menu. My mom went to sign the contract last night and not only changed the menu but eliminated the liquor because she doesn't want any drunk people at the wedding. It was one of the only things my FH wanted. When we protested, she said we were not paying and hung up on me. Invitations. I wanted to use a friend of mine that was a graphic designer, the same woman who did my STDs. Again, because she didn't email my mother back quick enough for her liking, my mom went and had invitations done by herself. I didn't even see them before they were made. Their missing information I wanted included colors. I wanted a fall color theme since I'm getting married in October. My colors are now blush and green because that's what I'm feeling right now according to my mother. This isn't fall at all. She doesn't care. My dress. My mom didn't want to come with me to get one. I ended up doing it with my mother-in-law. She is a wonderful person, but I was pretty devastated that she didn't go even once. My brother. He is an alcoholic who has been in and out of jail. He has ruined family events before, and he just got released 2 weeks ago. My idea was to have him come for the ceremony and dinner, but to leave once the drinking got heavy. I just don't think it's fair for him to be put in that situation, nor do I want to be anxious all night about him drinking. He can be violent. She told me I was a bitch and that he will be staying all night. My FH is very uncomfortable with this arrangement, as am I. Labor. She doesn't want to pay anyone to help set up and tear down. I work 2 jobs and just started a new one this past week, which means I have limited vacation. She doesn't understand that I can't just take off the entire week before the wedding. I've been screamed at that I'm unwilling to help because of this. She also cannot comprehend why I won't ask my bridal party to take off to help as well. We're getting married on a Friday, they're already likely taking off 2 days to come. I simply won't ask any more of them. I hate this wedding. I hate when people ask me about it. I have palpitations when my mom calls or emails me. I keep getting told by her that I'm completely ungrateful whenever I try to express these feelings to her. This isn't my wedding. I'm a showpiece at her party. We're $10,000 plus into this with deposits. I just want it to be October 11th. I don't know what to do. First off, thank you all for your support and excellent suggestions. I think the real thing it will come down to for me is if canceling the wedding is worth the likely catastrophic effects on my relationship with my family. In all honesty, I'm not sure the answer of that yet. I've also toyed with the idea of going through with this wedding and then doing a vow renewal next year with my FH that is just us. I know many of you have said to cancel, I'm just not sure I have it in me. I think I may need to go see someone, like a therapist, to really discuss this through. Again, thank you all for your suggestions.
My opinion. I don't know how to react here but have few thoughts. First one is that your mother tries to find something to do for her. Seems like she was busy raising you and then looking after your grandmother. Now she has nothing to do and wants to get away from the thoughts that now she has no one to care about. Add to it thoughts about your grandmother. It is better for her to do something than just sit at home and thinking about that loss. Seems like she's compensating something. I don't know how her wedding went, but seems like it happened not as she planned and dreamed about it. Probably here she wants to make it as it is in her dreams. Let it go if you can't stop it from happening. Tell her that you will not be able to help as much as she probably wants you to, but it is what it is. If you cannot change this situation, leave it. Next year you can make something different. Don't be offended by it. In 20 years, you will be remembering it together with your husband as a funny moment. Who cares about ruined wedding? Take it easy and let it go as it is. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe on my channel.